name is Curtis Durham, and I'm here with Philip Attebery. He's the Dean at the Baptist Missionary Theological Seminary in Jacksonville. And we are going to get some great information from him today. If you need to go to school, if you are thinking about going to school, Dr. Attebery will be the man to talk with about going and about joining at the school in Jacksonville. And so I am very excited to have him here with me today. I really think a lot of Dr. Attebery. He is a great guy, just a genuine guy. He's helped me out a whole lot. I am also a student there at the BMA, and I can tell you that Dr. Attebery is very serious about what he's doing. And don't turn in any homework that's not right. He's going to let you know, hey, you need to change this, you need to change that. I can guarantee you some of my papers had a lot of red marks on it, and it has made me a lot better person. So I thank him for the job that he does down there at the BMA. He is such a wonderful guy. Now, Dr. Attebery, I have a question for you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Magnolia, Arkansas.
Big town, small town?
You know, it's about the size of Jacksonville, about,
okay.
I think 11 or 12,000 population.
Okay.
It's in the southwest corner of Arkansas.
And so Jacksonville kind of makes you feel right at home then, right?
In that regards, it does.
Okay.
Very similar.
I know we went to Arkansas one time with my former pastor, and when we got there, all I saw was long red dirt roads. Yeah. And I was like, man, where are we? You know, and when is it going in? I mean, it wasn't any black tops or anything. Now, they may have changed now, but back then it was kind of funny, you know?
I'll admit there were a lot of red roads, but pavement did make it to the state years ago. So.
Okay, good. I guess I'm going to have to make another trip down there.
Yeah, you need to come back.
Okay. Tell me something. Now, what did you enjoy most about that environment there in Arkansas?
Well, I did enjoy it. I grew up on a college campus. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. Had athletic facilities nearby and mm-hmm. place to go fishing, that kind of thing. Oh, wow. But it was a small enough community that you did get to know many people. Mm-hmm. Felt at home there. Okay. Yeah, I did enjoy it.
Well, cool. That's awesome right there. So you like fishing?
I do. I haven't gotten to fish as much since I've gotten to the seminary.
Okay.
But
yeah.
That was a big deal for me back when I was young.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I can vouch for the not being able to fish because of seminary. I can't go fishing and study at the same time.
Right.
You know, there were times when I wanted to say, hey, I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna play hooky, and I'm going to the creek with my brother. But I said, no, I better go to class.
You did the right thing.
So you know, it's good that you have some recreation that you like, but you know, I wish that you'd be able to get back to being able to do some of that someday.
That'd be good.
Someday.
That would.
Now, in this Arkansas area, what type of family setting did you have at home?
I had a great family. My parents were together the whole time. Mm-hmm. You know that my father's actually passed away, but my parents were married until he passed away. Mm-hmm. I have a brother and sister mm-hmm. as well, but they faithfully took us to church. Okay. And I felt like what they did at church is also what they did at home. Mm-hmm. You know, mm-hmm. we prayed before we ate, wow. And if there were troubles, you know, we would pray about that. And I was very, very appreciative of the upbringing I had, very much so.
Good. That's awesome, Dr. Attebery, because we know in today's society, you know, we don't have a lot of that going on
right.
now. We don't have families that stay together like they should, biblically speaking. You know, we're split up in a lot of different ways. Right. Now, we grew up in a home where my mom and dad, my dad was a pastor, my mom, you know, was there where she taught us in Sunday school and things of that nature, so I can understand the concept mm-hmm. of growing up in a Christian home. Right. It really helped me out a lot as well. Right. Even though I was bad at times, you know, but it did help me out a whole lot, you know.
Right.
Well, what did the Bible say? You train them up, and they grow up
Yeah.
and they come back to where they need to be. Look at you. You're here today. Now, I can't say that you was a bad guy growing up. I don't know.
Right, that's right. So since you don't know, I just want to skip on.
Well, we'll pass that up. We'll let him have his day right here. He's a great guy. All right, so do you? And I know you still practice those values right now. How important is it for you and your family?
Well, I think it's very important. One of the earliest memories I have is either my mom or my dad coming in and saying a prayer with us at night. And so not only did we pray at meals, but we prayed every day. And I remember them teaching me how to pray. And so that meant a lot to me. So I've tried to do that as well. As a parent, my wife's a great Christian lady. And we've tried to do that with our own children.
Amen, amen. That's awesome. That's something that we can glean from Dr. Attebery, that all our families need, is that prayer time and that unity together, and that's just great. We're going to take off for a moment, and we'll be right back with Dr. Attebery. Hello, well, we're back here with Dr. Attebery. We're going to continue with this fine interview today. Dr. Attebery, when we left off, you were talking about some of the values that you still practice today. Can you give me some pleasant memories of your childhood that you may often think about?
Oh, that's good. I do think a lot about where I grew up, and just had an opportunity to do many things. Like I could ride my bike really wherever I wanted to, and that type of thing. But I think most of my memories outside of my family included things with my church. And we had a small enough community and a close enough church that I could do things with friends, my church and neighbors. And so I remember doing things with people besides my family, also neighbors and friends in the community. I might ride my bike in town to go visit with somebody and play ball and that kind of thing. I really enjoyed that.
Cool. Were you involved in any youth activities at the church, as far as Vacation Bible School or summer events?
Yeah, we did that. We did the Bible school. As I got a little older, more of a teenager, I usually went on a mission trip or a tour, a music group. We had. Back then we had youth choirs a lot. And so our church had a youth choir, and we would always take a choir tour. And we might go somewhere close by. We might go as far away as Chicago or down to Florida, something like that, from Southwest Arkansas. And that was meaningful to me. I think about that, and one of the things, besides just having fun times where we might eat pizza or play ball at the church, my church gave us an opportunity to do things as young people that were meaningful.
Wow.
We actually, we went to sing at a church one Sunday night as our youth choir out of town. And I remember the music leader saying, this choir will be taking the place of the preaching tonight. And so we are presenting the gospel message.
Wow.
That really stuck with me about how serious it was that we had to do there that night. And I look back and think we had a puppet ministry.
Oh, all right.
We had a boys ministry. I did a lot of memorizing Bible verses and things like that, and all that was very meaningful.
Well, good. That's awesome, right there. Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
I did.
Well, I can vouch for singing in the choir. Our family, pretty much, me and my siblings, we were the choir most of the time.
Right?
When my dad traveled, he did a lot of evangelistic work, so we would load up in that back of that station wagon, put all our equipment in there. I played the drum, my dad played the guitar, and my sisters them sung, and we just had a blast, just going back and forth. Now, I can say I got a little tired of going, traveling like that, but it helped me.
Right.
It helped me, and learning how to play now. Now I picked up the bass again as I'm 49 years old now, so I want to start trying to play it again. It is fun,
Right.
It's fun. I'm learning. My hands don't move as fast as they used to, but hey, I just go the way I need to go to get where I need to be, and I'm playing for the church now. So
That's great.
It's a good thing.
That's fun.
So I love music too. I love that. How many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I have a brother and a sister.
Brother and sister. Who is the eldest?
Well, I'm the oldest.
All right, okay, all right, cool. That's awesome. So you had to take the blow of everything that come through.
I guess so, but it doesn't seem that, I don't remember many blows.
I can understand. I'm the oldest son, so I pretty much, but I was the one that was doing all the dirty stuff. So nobody else. She was my sister Violet was the oldest, and she never did anything.
Is that right?
She was the perfect child, So, but I made up for everybody.
Yeah.
So Dr. Attebery, are you married?
I am.
All right. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 25 years.
My goodness, that's a long time.
It is, but it's been great, and it seems really like just started.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Well, awesome. Did you guys meet in college, or y'all met back at your hometown?
Good question. When I surrendered to preach, I had just finished my junior year of high school. Okay. And about the middle of my senior year, I preached at a church about half an hour from my hometown. And my wife attended that church, and that's where we first met. But through college ministries, we were both involved in the Association of Baptist Students at our colleges, and we had retreats together. Our churches, our ABS chapters did, and things like that. We just got to know each other, and eventually led to 25 years of marriage.
Well, that's awesome. In that conversation just then, I just caught that you were ministering while you were in high school.
Yes, I felt really the Lord leading me that way, and I did make an official response to the call. Okay. Yes, right after my junior year of high school. So it's been a while back now.
I mean, I in high school there was a young guy that was a minister, and how did you handle that pressure? I know he had a lot of pressure because I listened to the kids talk to him in a certain way, but I didn't because I grew up in a church home and my dad was a pastor, so I understood. But how did you deal with that issue?
Well, I don't remember there being a lot of pressure. Okay. And I hope that there wasn't a lot of change from the years before. Okay. Now, if we had a long time, I could kind of share my testimony. It's not one of turning from drugs and alcohol and that type of thing, but it was a point that I felt like certain good friends of mine maybe turned one direction that I didn't feel like I needed to go that direction. Sure. And so I turned a little different in a better direction. And I think through junior high, through high school, by the time I surrendered to ministry, that I hope I wasn't much different, in my commitment to the Lord and things like that. Now, I'm not saying I was always committed. There was certainly a growth period
most
with that, but like I said, I don't think it was such a big change that people began to put pressure on me about it.
All right, well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you accepted the call at such a young age. Now, when you were in college, what kind of job did you hold?
Well, I did major in communication. Okay. And I got to work a little bit on the college farm, but I got to work for the campus radio station, and I did that mostly. And I did pastor a little bit part-time. Okay. And did some freelance video work on the side. So a few things like that. Okay. Well, that's awesome right there. When did you become interested in saying, hey, I'm going to be an educational teacher? I probably never thought that until I graduated with my master's degree from the BMA Seminary. And an opportunity opened for me to minister on a college campus, and part of that was the opportunity to teach Bible classes on that campus. Because I had the academic credential, it just made sense to teach. And I did not realize how much I would enjoy that. I just think the Lord was leading me toward a career in education. I wasn't planning on that, but He was leading me that way. And I'm grateful for it. Oh yeah, well that's awesome right there. Thank you for accepting that challenge as well. Now,
Now, what colleges or universities did you attend during this time where you were getting your education?
Well, I graduated from Magnolia High School.
Okay.
And then attended Southern Arkansas University.
Okay.
And that's where I got my bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the BMA Seminary
Okay.
in Jacksonville and got my master's.
Mm-hmm.
Went on to Southwestern Baptist Seminary and got a degree there.
All right.
And then also Dallas Baptist University. Received
Okay.
a degree there. So.
All right. Okay. Well, that's awesome right there. You got a lot of education behind you right there.
Well, it seems like it.
Yeah. Well, you got to meet a lot of fun and great people along the way.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure they're probably still keeping up with you, some of those guys.
I think so.
Some of the classmates, you still see the old classmates.
So.
Good, good. All right. So now, what was grad school like for you?
Well, it was a challenge. That was my really first time away from home.
Okay.
And so I learned things just about, living at
Okay.
that point, and making it on my own. I did get pretty sick during my second year of graduate school. That was a real challenge, just being by myself and dealing with being pretty sick. I mean, it was a lengthy illness. But I look back at that fondly. I think it's amazing to me how the Lord, I made very little money, but how at the end of it, I had increased in my wealth, which wasn't much. Wasn't much, but it wasn't a decrease.
Yeah.
Even though I had reached a point like that. So.
Okay. Well, that's awesome right there. Good to know that, Dr. Attebery. We're going to come right back in a few minutes and continue this interview with Dr. Attebery. We are back with Dr. Attebery. I have really been enjoying myself. I can say that we have learned a lot of information about him today. We want to continue with this interview. Dr. Attebery, you are the Dean of the BMA Seminary. Now, how did you come about getting this position?
Well, a few years ago now, in 1999, I believe, Dr. Charlie Holmes, president of the seminary, gave me a call and asked if I'd be interested because the previous dean was retiring after 17 years.
Okay.
So I put some thought into it. It took me a while because I wanted to be certain that I had the opportunity to do ministry, not just administration, but to do ministry in some way.
All right. Well, good. And you're still there today. And you look forward to being there for a longer period of time, right?
I'm planning to be there for a while.
Well, that's awesome right there. You certainly do a good job there. I believe it fits you well. And whenever God get ready to elevate you higher, I know He will. During this time where you're at the seminary, you are also not only the dean, but you also teach classes as well.
Correct.
How important is that to you?
I think it's very important. I want to do what I ask our faculty to do. We ask them to teach classes, so I want to be able to do that. Plus, that keeps me with the opportunity to touch, hopefully in some way, as a teacher, every student that we have. Because every degree plan that we have will send a student through a course that I teach.
Okay, yes, you're right. I've been through them, and I probably got to go through it again, and I enjoy every bit of it. So that's awesome that you get that opportunity to do that. While you were there at the seminary, you guys thought about a way of discipling. All right, and I don't know how you came up with that plan, but we want to find out how you came up with that plan to come up with this great book called Disciple Way. All right, and I've been a part of that. I've been out in the street witnessing a part of that Disciple Way plan. What makes your plan better than anybody else's plan right now?
Well, I hope it's a good plan. I don't know if I could compare it to others that much or not, but it does have some unique things.
Okay.
One is the focus on inviting people to join in a disciple relationship that are demonstrating certain measures of faithfulness. Paul wrote to Timothy about that, and so we really rely heavily on Paul's advice to Timothy on that. Second thing is the Great Commission is clearly about making disciples. And to make disciples, it makes sense to make them the way Jesus made them.
Exactly.
And so when you look at Jesus, and for example, when he taught his disciples to pray, they asked him, after seeing him being off in a certain place, and he prayed, he did not give them a book to read on prayer or send them to a website, you know, to learn about it, or to watch a DVD. He taught them how to pray by praying with them. And you look at the things Jesus did, that seems to be his approach to making disciples. Is not just in a classroom or in a synagogue, in a public setting. He did that. But it seems like the real essence of making disciples occurred with hands-on experience. And so that is a unique thing about Disciple Way. And folks who've written other discipleship materials have actually said that to us, that it includes a hands-on component. You're going to learn about Bible study not by having me lecture to you on here's how you do it, but we're actually going to sit down and study the Bible together. We're actually going to learn about praying by praying together, and it's guided so that we're doing, you know, something on a progression. And we're going to learn about sharing the gospel by, as you said, actually sharing the gospel together. That does seem to be different than quite a bit of the discipleship material that's out there.
Well, I can say just from, I got this book at home as well. Dr. Attebery is one of the main authors there. There are two other guys that is also a part of creating this book. But I think that just being a student at the seminary, it was very important that we did go out into the streets and learn how to be a witness and make disciples. Versus us just going out to just randomly just say things that come to our mind. We have a layout there that help us that we can follow, and it helps us to be able to guide that person step by step. You know, I like the illustrations that come along with that, you know. And so I can remember just one incident where I went out with Dr. Attebery, and I was always afraid to go out with Dr. Attebery because I knew he knew this stuff backwards and forwards, and I'm nervous, and I'm like, man, I hope I say this right. And so at one point there, I went out with him, and I was new to it, and I kind of got in a rough spot there, and Dr. Attebery said, well, let me share this with you. You know, he kind of stepped in. He didn't tell me, say, hey, Curtis, you doing a bad job, man. You know, hey, back up. He kind of eased in, and he made it better for me, and then he allowed me to come back in. So it was a very teachable moment. It was a very exciting moment because, you know, me being fearful of this work that you guys put together, you showed me that it's nothing really to be fearful of. You know, just calm down and just speak. And just let it flow. And so even at our church, you know, I'm the pastor of New Beginning Worship Center, and I still use Disciple Way at my church. You know, hey, what would you do? You know, how could you even enter into the kingdom of heaven? You know, what could you say to God for him to let you into his kingdom? So those are very important things that I learned, and I believe that we all can use this material. Dr. Attebery, we thank you for this material right here. I really would like for you to share with the audience what they need to be doing when as far as coming for the Great Commission, and even talk to a little bit about your school, tell them where they can come and join in.
Well, I do appreciate the opportunity to do that. The Great Commission, Jesus gave it to us. He has all authority over all people, places, and times. If you look at that, that's really what he's saying, that the philosophy or approach that he has in making disciples is something that we should be doing today. It's not, he said do this until the end of the age, and so that's a responsibility that we have. And I think that the real commandment in the Great Commission is not the word go. It's understood that you're going to go. It's to make disciples. And to do that, I think requires, you know, an emphasis on learning spiritual disciplines, like how to study the Bible, how to pray, how to worship, how to share the gospel, giving, serving, and actually leading. And our emphasis is not just on making disciples, but it's making disciple makers. A disciple is a person that loves the Lord, attends church, does good things. I hope you could always say that of me, that I'm a good person like that. But can you say that I've helped you learn how to study the Bible, that I've helped you learn how to pray and how to share the gospel? That's making a disciple maker. And that's an emphasis that we try to have at the seminary, is a lot of hands-on learning experience. BMA Seminary serves as an accredited institution to try to help equip individuals for Christian leadership roles in their churches. And we would love to have folks, if you have some college background, you might work on a bachelor or one of our master's degrees. If you don't have any college background at all, you could work on one of our associate degrees. And our website is pretty easy. It's BMATS, that's for BMATS, for BMA Theological Seminary. So bmats.edu. You can find out a lot of information about the school by going to that website.
All right. Well, we thank you, Dr. Attebery, for this awesome time that we've had. Today, you brought your daughter, Emily, with you. Emily, come on over here. And stand beside Dad right there. Whatever, if you can count squat a little bit, you'll together. There you go.
Yeah.
This is one of his children, and we thank her for coming and being a part of this program as well. She is a very talented young woman herself. She's headed off to SFA to continue her studies, and I know he is a proud dad.
That's true. That's true.
Amen.
Of her and her brother.
Oh yeah, her brother too. He's not here, but she's proud of him as well. We thank you, Dr. Attebery. We thank you, Emily, for showing up and being a part of this program. God bless you. If you get an opportunity, stop by the BMA Seminary and see Dean Attebery.